What's up, all you legends? Welcome to part 21 of the Radical Red walkthrough. We have finally made it to the Elite Four. Our first person we are challenging is Lorelei, and she sent out some Ice-type Pokemon, Ninetales and Glaceon. My first two Pokemon are Fire types, which should be quite effective against these two Ice types. I'm so excited we made it all the way to the Elite Four. It took us forever. There were so many tough battles along the way. I enjoyed every part of this game. Although it's super frustrating in parts, it is very enjoyable. It's nice that the game is so challenging. We did knock out the Ninetales in the first shot. We're gonna try and see if we can knock out the Glaceon too. That should put us in good stead. If we yes, we knocked them out. We took out two of their Pokemon. So that's a great start. We're ahead. We still got all 6 of our Pokemon. And this first gym leader is a tag team battle, which I was pretty surprised about. I thought all the gym leaders would be one-on-one, but the first one is a tag team battle. And the next load of Pokemon they sent out is a Rotom, which seems to be electric and water type, and Baxcalibur, which is a super strong dragon and ice type. So these are definitely going to be more challenging. Hopefully we can take out the Baxcalibur, but I wasn't planning for a water electric type. I thought most of a Pokemon would be ice or dragon. Baxcalibur used Protect, so that's quite annoying. And they knocked out Mega Charizard and swapped in Abomasnow. So we're gonna have to try and swap in one of our new ones to take them out. Also, I did find with the first few gym leaders, there are 2 sets of Pokemon teams that they have. So you could get either or. I did lose a couple times and rebattled some of the trainers where the whole team is swapped and different. So when you make it to the final 4, you might not have the exact same team that you're battling against that I am. We did knock out their Abomasnow, and I've used Screamtail to use its special attack, Time Warp, Trick Room, sorry. And that makes all the slower Pokemon fastest and all the fastest Pokemon slower. So hopefully we can get some attacks in first now. Cerulege does attack first, and we do quite a bit of damage. And we get Screamtail to also cause a little bit of damage, so we got Baxcalibur halfway through its health. Next, we're going to send out my big boy, Melmetal. And we use Gyro Ball. Knock out Baxcalibur. It's a super cool attack because Gyro Ball takes into account the difference in your speed and the opposing Pokemon speed, and if there's a big difference, it does bigger damage. And my Melmetal's speed is extremely slow, so it normally does quite a bit of damage. Next, they send out Ice Rider Calyrex, which is quite a strong Pokemon. We do hit Rotom and confuse him, but it's not enough to knock him out. This Rotom is a bit of a headache. He's done a lot of damage to my team, and he's not easy to knock out. Luckily, it's hurt by the confusion. I really want to get this Rotom out the way. Luckily, he isn't knocking out any of my Pokemon in one shot, though. But he is doing a lot of damage. My Cerulege is knocked out, so that's not good. Rotom knocks out my Melmetal and swaps out with Volt Switch. We've only got 2 Pokemon left. Will it be enough? We've got Iron Thorns, which is quite a beast, and Dragapult, which is extremely fast at attacking. and a high special attacker. My Iron Thorns has a very strong base attack, and his defense is quite high. I get both my Pokemon to attack Calyrex and we knock him out, so at least we only up against one Pokemon. We'll have better odds when we have 2-on-1. At least he won't be able to knock out both of our Pokemon in the next turn. Unless he has an attack that can attack my whole team. And we do Draco Meteor and we knock out Rotom. It wasn't too tough. We beat Lorelei for our first Elite Four match. And she does offer to heal your Pokemon, which is a lifesaver. And we make it to the second battle of the Elite Four. The first one wasn't too bad. The next one we have the Elite Four Bruno, and he sends out Great Tusk, which is a Paradox Pokemon. And I believe it is a rock and ground type. So my fire type moves are probably not going to be too effective. But I do have other attacks that I've equipped to Charizard for this reason. We use a Inferno though, and it almost knocks him out surprisingly. But it is hanging in there by a thread, but it gets burnt and knocked out, which is the best situation. And the next Pokemon they send out is Iron Hands, the Paradox Pokemon, which is an electric and ground type, I believe. The Paradox Pokemon in this game are slightly stronger than normal Pokemon. So it is a good idea to have some of them on your team. That's why I've got Iron Thorns and Screamtail, because their base stats are a tiny bit higher, so it just gives you that little bit more of an edge. Cerulege does a bit of damage, but we don't knock him out, and luckily we take Iron Hand's shot, we eat it up. My speed does increase, which is a big plus, because for the rest of the battle I may be able to attack first. That is a huge plus when it comes to Cerulege. I love that ability that he has. Next they send out Urshifu, which is probably Bruno's strongest Pokemon. If you wanna try and knock out this Urshifu as quickly as possible, because it is quite a beast. It can do a lot of damage and knock out a lot of Pokemon. We get it down to the last little bit of health. It beats my Cerulege. If we can get an attack in before it can attack, we should be able to knock it out. I'm going to use Trick Room to reverse the speeds, because he sends out Zacian, which is super fast. It always attacks first. At least with Trick Room it should reverse that, and the slower Pokemon should be able to attack first. I swap in Melmetal because he can eat a lot of damage. And now we should attack first, and we do with Gyro Ball. And our speed is quite different. So we do more than half damage to him, which is excellent. But he does knock us out. Hopefully Iron Thorns can kill him with Earthquake, and we do. Iron Thorns also has speed that's quite slow, but with Trick Room we got to attack first. And next there says another Paradox Pokemon, Iron Valiant, which is one of the stronger ones. And we almost knock it out. We do a lot of damage. It hits us with Moonblast, but we survive. If you're into Pokemon cards, my last Pokemon card opening video I made about Paradox Rift, I actually pulled an Iron Valiant card, so go check out that video if you're into Pokemon cards. It was a pretty cool pull, and I love the card that I pulled. Next up they sent Lucario out. A lot of fighting types, and it Mega Evolves. The Mega Lucario looks super cool. We've still got 2 Pokemon left. My Dragapult's attack should be very effective as it's a special attacker. We're gonna see if the fire attack will do a lot of damage. and it's super effective. We knock out Lucario, and there's only Urshifu left with its little bit of health. We do attack first. My Dragapult speed is through the roof, and Bruno is down. We're halfway. Bruno heals us. Now it's time for the third trainer, and it is the Psychic type. We've made it to Agatha, and the first Pokemon she sends out, which is a Gengar, crazy Pokemon to send out. The battle started off with a bang. We do a lot of damage, but it turns out it wasn't a Gengar, it was a Zoroark. Its special ability is to change and look like other Pokemon, but we knock it out. Next Pokemon is Gholdengo, one of my favorite new Pokemon from Gen 9. It is a Metal and Ghost type, so fire attack should be quite effective against it. The last time I played this game, I did have Gholdengo in my team, and he was pretty strong. He knocked out my Dragapult. Hopefully, Screamtail can get Trick Room in and reverse the speeds, and we will be able to attack first for the next few turns. We'll get Ceruledge out. Gholdengo makes it rain, but we still survive. And we do Bitter Blade, which knocks him out and heals us a little bit. And next is the real Gengar. So we knocked out the fake Gengar, now it's a real Gengar, and it's Mega Evolved. The Mega Gengar also looks awesome, but we knock it out in one shot, which is excellent. Now there is the Beast, the Roaring Moon, also a Paradox Pokemon. This is probably people's favorite Paradox Pokemon. And we knock it out. One shot. So things are going well. We're one-shotting a lot of Pokemon. A lot of our Pokemon are still alive. And the next they send out is Chi-Yu, which is also a legendary Pokemon. We knock it out with one shot. One of the new legendary Pokemon in Gen 9. And they send out another legendary Pokemon, Marshadow, but a bit older one. So Marshadow is also super strong, especially in this game. You can catch Marshadow. I think I may have caught it already. In the next video, I'll show you some of the legendaries that I have caught. And I'll explain a bit how to find a lot of them and where to catch them. But Marshadow is very strong. Our fire attack is pretty effective. If Charizard can withstand the shot from Marshadow, we should be able to knock it out now. Ooh, so Charizard just hangs in there, and we get the final attack in, and we beat Agatha. 3 down. We on to our final and most difficult battle of the Elite Four. We have the Dragon type Lance. He helped us beat Giovanni. Lance is definitely the toughest battle out of the Elite Four, I found. And he also has 2 teams. He can start with Aerodactyl, or he can start with a Garchomp. So it really is at random which Pokemon he will start with. His first Pokemon is Garchomp. We do a bit of damage to it. We trade in Melmetal, and he swaps with Dialga. Dialga was definitely the toughest Pokemon in his team. He swaps out to Salamence. He always swaps out, so he's not at a disadvantage. We knock out a Salamence with one shot. Luckily, Dynamic Punch is pretty effective, and it's a bonus that it leaves the Pokemon confused. But Dialga's defense is crazy high. I didn't have any Pokemon that could actually cause a lot of damage and take out half of its health in one shot. All my Pokemon were doing a tiny bit of damage, so it was really a grind to try and knock him out. I was hoping the confusion would help a lot, and he had hurt itself quite a bit. But he does have a really annoying attack, Roar of Time, which does quite a bit of damage, but makes your Pokemon swap out to a random Pokemon. And that's super inconvenient because he constantly uses it and all your Pokemon switch out and get damage. And sometimes it swaps to a Pokemon with no strong attacks against Dialga. But luckily, Charizard's Inferno does a lot of damage. Even though it wasn't super effective, it still did a lot of damage. Dialga was definitely the biggest challenge to knock out. Next, he sends out one of my favorite Pokemon, Dragonite, which is a dragon flying type. Dragonite is one of my favorite OG Pokemon, one of the original 151. I do have some awesome Dragonite cards that I'm going to be sharing on the channel soon. After I've completed Radical Red, I'm definitely going to post more Pokemon TCG content, so more cards, more pack opening, more shorts of my singles. So stay tuned if you're into Pokemon cards. There's going to be a lot more content coming up, which I'm excited about. I have got a few cards from grading, and I'm going to make a video with some of my best cards that I have in my current collection. I don't have anything major. I'm still a fairly new collector, so I don't have any crazy, super expensive cards, but I got a couple nice ones that I'm looking forward to sharing. Okay, sends out Melmetal, which is one of my strongest favorite Pokemon. That's not good. But Screamtail does Perish Song attack, which will knock out any Pokemon that is exposed to that attack in 3 turns. So if we don't knock out Melmetal, he'll have to swap out or he'll get knocked out, which can only help us if they have to swap out when they don't want to. But we should be able to knock Melmetal out in the next turn. It is a metal type and Ceruledge is fire, so it's pretty effective. We knock it out. Ceruledge's speed is way quicker, and they send out an Iron Jugulis. This is another Paradox Pokemon. I think one of the more cool-looking ones. It's kind of like Hydreigon mixed with another Pokemon. All the Paradox Pokemon look similar to other Pokemon, but they're either a future version or an ancient original version. So that's why they look similar but slightly different. And then he sends out Garchomp, which had hardly any health left. Luckily knocked it out. Beat Lance. It took a few attempts for us to beat Lance, but we beat the entire Elite Four. And now we have to battle the current champion. And here we have it. Rival Rev. He is the current Pokemon champion. He must have just defeated the Elite Four before me, and he was crowned the champion of the Pokemon League, of the Elite Four. But now we are going to battle him and try to steal his title that he just earned. He's got some awesome Pokemon. He sent out Formosa first, and second he's got Metagross. I'm going to swap to a fire type because Metagross is a steel type, I believe. So our fire attacks might be very effective. I believe it's psychic and metal. If we can get in a fire attack, we might be able to one-shot him. Yes, and it does. Our flamethrower knocks out Metagross. And next he sends a legendary Pokemon, Yveltal, one of my favorite Pokemon and super underrated. Yveltal's gonna be strong. I'm gonna send my defensive Screamtail out. Hopefully he can withstand one of Yveltal's shots. Otherwise, it's just gonna knock out my whole team. Okay, it does survive. If we can get a Trick Room in... Oh, but we get knocked out on the second one. Luckily, I gave Screamtail Rocky Helmet, so every time it gets hit by a physical attack, it does damage to the attacker. So we're slowly eating away of Yveltal's health. Ceruledge is out next, and we one-shot him. Luckily, half of his health was already gone, and Ceruledge's speed is quite fast. And next they sent a Caradon out, but not just a normal Caradon, a shiny Caradon, which I've never seen before. That's incredible. I didn't know it was a black color, but it looks super cool. Normally Caradon is red, all red. It almost knocks out my Iron Thorns, but it does have Focus Sash. And we do a lot of damage to Caradon, but it's not enough. We get knocked out. But I really like how this Caradon looks. Out of Caradon and Miraidon, I definitely like Miraidon more, but they both look super cool. I wouldn't mind getting a Miraidon on my team. I'm not sure if you can catch them in the game. And next he sends out Eternatus, which is the beast of beasts, the Dark Lord Eternatus. One of the biggest Pokemon ever. I think in the Pokemon TCG, Eternatus has the highest HP out of all the cards that I've ever seen. Eternatus VMAX. And if you watch the series, it's just such a monster. It's so big. And Lance comes and battles Eternatus with Zacian and Zamazenta, which I love even more. We do an ice attack and knock out Eternatus, thank goodness. And then he sends out an imposter Pokemon Ditto, which copies our Pokemon. It will copy how we look and copy our attacks, which is fine because we've got 2 fire types left. So it's copied Melmetal, which is a metal type, and we should be able to knock it out with one shot. We do. So Ditto made a mistake by copying Melmetal, especially when my last 2 Pokemon are fire types. And the last Pokemon is Formosa, which is a bug and ground type, and bug Pokemon are weak to fire. We knock out our rival Red, and we are the new league champion. We have beat the game. We have become the Pokemon League champion. Professor Oak has come to congratulate us. It has been a crazy journey. We have conquered the main game. There is quite an after game still to do. There's still going to be another 3 or 4 videos I'm going to make. But this is a crazy achievement. If you can beat Radical Red, it is an achievement, especially on normal or hardcore mode. I've not beat the game on hardcore, but normal was a hell of a challenge. And now we get to see my final Pokemon team in all their glory, the new champions of the Pokemon League. We've got Ceruledge, Screamtail, Charizard, Melmetal, Dragapult, and Iron Thorns. Quite a strong team. Congratulations, Pokeflips, you are the new Pokemon League champion. So now we're going to watch the credits of the game. Our rival leaves, Professor Oak leaves. And in the normal Pokemon Red, this would be the end of the game. This has been such a fun game. I really love this game. The creator did such a sick job, Supercell. I can't thank you for such an awesome game. But it's not the end. Do stay tuned. We will have more videos up in the next few days. In the after game, we'll still battle all the secret old gym trainers, which is going to be super tough. There's about 6 or 8 of them. We're going to catch a whole bunch of legendary Pokemon, including Mewtwo. We're going to battle Professor Oak. Yes, Professor Oak. We're going to battle him, and that's super interesting and unique. And we're going to battle the ultimate trainer, Ash, or Red. We're going to battle him and his whole team. So there's still a lot of cool videos on the way. We're definitely going to make about 3, possibly 4 more. I'll try to keep it under 25. I don't want to make more than 25 videos for Radical Red. But also leave me any comments if you need help with anything, if you're not sure what to do. I'll try my best to assist. And let me know which ROM hack I should play next, and if I should make some videos of it. I am thinking of starting Pokemon Unbound. I think it's my second favorite ROM hack after Radical Red. It is a lot longer, but it's a super awesome game as well. So I may make a Pokemon Unbound walkthrough. I'm not sure when, but let me know if you'd like to see that. Stay tuned for the next one.